women who experienced orgasm actually slept about 54% longer that night compared to nights without an orgasm. Hi there, you're listening to the Kingdom Sexuality Podcast. We're Alana, Kyle, and Tira, friends who have a heart for intimacy and long to uncover God's truth and design for sexual freedom within marriage. If you enjoy listening to our episodes or like our content over on Instagram, would you consider leaving a review or subscribing? It really helps. Welcome here. Okay, we are back for another episode of the Kingdom Sexuality Podcast. Welcome here. I'm Alana, and I'm joined by my two fantastic co-hosts, Kyle and Tira. And here we go. Special welcome to the patrons who are tuning in. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys. If you are not a patron but would like to support the show, get behind the scenes information, we do giveaways there sometimes. I share hump day positions on Wednesdays, all sorts of other things, freebies, etc. Go to patreon.com/kingdomsexuality and then you can check that out. All right, the verse I chose for today was Psalms 4:8. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety.
Ooh, good verse for today.
Right? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, before we continue, we're going to have a quick pause to hear from one of our sponsors. All right, here we go, friends. The big question: does more sleep equal more sex? So, don't answer me, but think about it. So, check in for everyone listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you feeling right now?
With like one being, what's the scale? 1 being you feel super sleepy and 10 you feel awake,
Sure.
or vice versa?
Yes. Yeah, let's do that. Because 1 be low. So yes, low energy, very tired. 10 being super energized.
I'm like a 2.8 right now.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
No bueno. That's not good.
We went to bed after midnight last night and woke up at 6:30, so the sleep is low right now.
Oh, shame. Yeah. I'm at about like a 7, 8.
Nice.
I think I feel similar.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there is a connection to your level of exhaustion and your desire for intimacy?
Heck yes.
Would you say there's a connection? Kyle, I'm curious for you. Yes? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You guys also have this?
Interesting because I was feeling so tired yesterday after work. Like yesterday was Thursday, which is my Friday. And I came home and I was like, babe, if you're thinking about sex tonight, I am not interested. So yes, it's very much related.
I just think of like, I feel like the best evidence for this is having new babies. Like you're both sleep deprived. That's the hardest time to want to have intimacy because you're both sucking at sleep. So yeah, I think I definitely think that's a high correlation. Yeah.
So we're going to unpack today why these two things are maybe more linked than we might realize. So whether you are one who, you know, a night owl who pushes through or a couple who collapses into bed every night, we're going to explore what the science says about sleep, sex, and God's design for rest. But in classic Tiriel fashion, I decided I would start off the episode with a quiz. So I have it here in the doc. You guys don't look at it.
Okay, we won't.
I did these with Jeff last night. He thought they were interesting.
Okay.
1%. Okay. What percentage of couples say that being, quote, too tired is the number one reason they don't have sex? Ooh. Okay. A, 20%. B, 45%. Or C, 60%. That the number one reason they don't have sex is that they're too tired.
C.
Yep. 60%. All right. A University of Michigan study found that for women, 1 extra hour of sleep increased their likelihood of having sex the next day by A, 5%, B, 14%, or C, 25%.
C.
14%. B.
Nailed it.
It's interesting how 1 hour of sleep can increase that 14%. Okay. Men who sleep only 5 hours a night for a week saw that testosterone levels drop by A, 0 to 5%, B, 10 to 15%, or C, 25 to 30%.
C.
B.
It's B, yeah.
25 to 30, that would be huge.
I know, I thought it would be.
That would be scary.
All right. Adults who get less than 6 hours of sleep per night are how much more likely to struggle with relationship conflict the next day? A, 10%, B, 20%, or C, 30%?
C.
B.
Yeah, it's C, 30% more likely to have conflict the next day. Studies show
Wow.
that sleep-deprived couples report higher tension, less empathy, and more irritability.
Yep.
Which makes
I can
sense.
see that.
In a Mayo Clinic study, women with poor sleep quality were how much more likely to report sexual dysfunction compared to women with good sleep? 18% more likely, 25% more likely, or 48% more likely?
A.
Let's go for the extreme. C.
Yeah, it's C.
Wow.
Yep.
We're
That's
tied, by the
sleep
way,
quality.
Tira.
Pardon?
48.
We're tied right now.
I know.
Not
Not keeping score,
good or
man.
anything.
I'm not keeping track. All right, we got a bonus point. We have the
Okay.
tiebreaker here at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Which group has the most morning sex? A, parents of young kids. B, empty nesters. Or C, newlyweds.
Say it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. C.
B.
Oh, it's A. You're both wrong.
Oh.
Survey data shows that they
Wow.
often shift intimacy to the mornings because evenings are just too exhausting.
Wow. Okay.
Congratulations, you've tied.
Kyle's
Right.
like kissing your sister.
What
You never
does
heard
that
that?
mean?
What? That's a classic sports term whenever you tie a game.
Oh.
It's like it's not great.
It's not good.
No, it's not good. Ties are not good. You'd rather win.
Jeez Louise.
Oh man.
Okay. And so let's get into the biblical foundation of this kind of stuff. Okay, so
Okay.
Psalms 127:2 is, "It is in vain that you should rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep." What? Sheep. I'm gonna just
Pretty
read
sure
the
he
whole
gives
thing
sleep,
again.
not sheep. Yeah.
It is
Counting
in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Yes. Okay.
So can I use it like I'm a night owl, so this is totally biblical that I go to bed late and not rise up early. Right? Am I reading that right?
it's in vain,
It is
No,
vain.
it's in vain.
that you go late to rest.
But that you rise up early. It's in vain that you rise up early. I guess it's both. It's vain if you rise up early, and it's vain if you go to bed late. Or in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, God had designed rest as a gift. When we neglect it, it impacts every area of our life, including intimacy. So I have some questions here that we can chat about and then kind of jump off other things. So, and for people listening to kind of check yourself and think through these as well. So do you find that when you're sleep deprived, intimacy kind of falls off the radar? I feel like that's pretty safe to say. It depends in seasons, but like you
Yeah.
said, Tira, right? Like new babies,
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
Because that affects sleep, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I think it really depends too on what your guys' normal rhythm is for sex too.
Mm.
Like if you have sex at the end of the day, like before bed, then yeah, I would feel like those would probably be the people who first can't keep up with it because they're just so exhausted. Whereas people who have scheduled sex, it might not affect them as much, or if it's a different time of day that works better for them where you're not so exhausted, then I could see it works. Like it wouldn't affect it as much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of couples joke about being, quote, too tired for sex. What encouragement would you give a couple who are stuck in that cycle?
I think sometimes sex can be energizing. Like
Yeah.
you can be tired and still commit to having sex, and that can be like an energy boost. Like we'll talk about it in the sex and stress episode, but all the things that get released in your brain, all the hormones during sex are not put you to sleep stuff. They're like get you going stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, if you are in that season of feeling too tired, then that's maybe when you need to switch to scheduled sex too.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're going to be as a team working towards this and be like, hey, no, this is an important part of our life.
Yeah.
We don't want it to just be forgotten about. Like, we need to actually prioritize this. And what can we do? Yeah, probably changing the time of day is probably going to be your number one tip for succeeding in that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for parents specifically, how would we encourage them to balance like actual, like we're tired because we have kids with still prioritizing intimacy, which I feel like we've talked about in our kids, or what did we call it? Intimacy when you have like young kids.
I was going to say, it's not called the kids episode.
No. But I think things, just little things, like a lot of people they struggle with sleep when, your kids are in your bed because one, there's a lack of intimacy because your kids are in your bed. And then two, you're not sleeping well because your kids are in your bed and they're kicking you. And that's one thing I hear from friends who do co-sleep. It's like, oh, but this kid was like kicking my back and whatever. And so little things like not saying to not co-sleep ever. It's what you want and what works for your family. But maybe that's something that you need to start making a plan of like, okay, maybe we do need to be transitioning our kids to sleeping on their own so that we can have better sleep, so that we're more rested, so we'll have more sex, so we'll have better sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Or it becomes you have sex in a different room. Like, you have a guest room, that can be the sex room. Or if you have young kids, like hopefully they're sleeping in their like they're young enough to stay sleeping. So you can have sex in the living room or somewhere else. Like make a different connection spot in your house besides your bed. And then, yeah. And just like we talked about, maybe scheduling it is going to help. And don't put like crazy expectations on it. Even, it's like, hey, we need to make sure this is happening. I don't want to really give a number because it's whatever works for you, but decide on what schedule seems realistic in this season. It might not be what your regular is, like go a little bit lower than what your regular is, but know that having sex brings you together, and parenting little ones is a season that's really hard when you might have differing views on things, and having sex just brings you together on the same page again. So thinking of it like that this is a good time to is a good activity to keep you guys together and to energize you, and so that you can take on the world of raising children.
Would you guys say you have good sleep habits?
I would say that summer we got not as good of sleep habits. We stayed up later, did that kind of stuff. But on the flip side, we got to sleep in more because there was nowhere our kids had to go in the morning.
Right.
So I would say that we got probably the same amount of sleep. It's just our sleep times shifted an hour later in the evenings, later in the mornings.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I would say on average, like we are getting a solid 7 to 9 hours of like asleep.
Yeah, we do pretty good unless it's school holidays. Then yeah, it's the same thing for us, kind of like where we go to bed way later, and everybody in my family, including our kids, are night owls. So we do really well staying up late, and we all sleep in. So it's harder on the school schedule where it's like, oh yeah, we got to go to bed on time. I'd say that would be the main thing, like getting us all in bed on time so that we're not exhausted by the end of the week. But
so what does being a night owl look like for you, Tira? Like if you're going to bed an average, like what time is it when you're going to bed?
Like usually around 10:30, but we could easily push it to 11:30. And then we're up at,
I feel like 10:30 is not a night owl.
Well, I'm talking on like a school night. Like on the
like your kids or you?
No, for me, for us.
Okay.
Like we try to be in our bedroom at least by 10:30, I would say. But like in the summers and stuff, it's usually midnight most of the time. Yeah.
Dang. Nice.
Yeah, and then we'll sleep till 8 or 9.
See, our kids don't do what your kids do though. Our kids, we put them to bed at 7, they wake up at 7. We put them to bed at 10, they wake up at 7.
Yeah, that's
so
100% us too.
Yeah, our little one, he can still sometimes wake up. He's more the earlier one out of all of us, but if the conditions are right, he'll still sleep in he'll continue to sleep. So it works for us. We're able to keep our like we're all getting the right amount of sleep most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Lana?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I can be in the middle of a show or a movie and I'll be like, well, I'm tired now, so I'm going to go to bed. Like
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we can't do that very well.
Worst kind of person. What? Middle of a show?
Yeah. I can just pause it and go to bed. Like, I don't care.
You must not be
Like-
watching the right shows.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Time to go to bed.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
just,
goodness.
yeah.
See, my wife would
So-
just fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
I mean, there are times when, if I'm really exhausted, then I will say, yeah, like I can't do this anymore and I want to watch the rest. We need to pause it and go to bed. But it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. No, I like sleep. It was interesting. So when I was working full time, I was an educational assistant before I was a mom. And in the school season, I was work Lana. So work Lana would go to bed early and wake up early. And that was just my routine. Jeff would often stay up later or whatever because he likes his evenings. And I was like, well, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. And then there was summer Alana. And summer Alana would like to stay up later. And then I also just wake up early all the time. But now I'm like a mix of both. I'm just like a mix of
So what time do you normally go to bed on a school night?
10, 10:30,
And then what time do you wake up?
6:30.
Yeah.
So reasonable.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
getting all.
we're about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so couples who are wanting, they're like maybe they don't have great sleep habits. What's a small habit change that you think someone could start implementing to create more opportunity for rest and then in turn more space for intimacy?
One thing we've done really well is like our kids' bedtime is really important to us because we want at least an hour and a half to 2 hours together before we go to sleep. So our kids are pretty consistently in bed at 7:00. And now they can read, they can do whatever they want, but 7:00, they're in bed. There's no more coming out. And so Sam and I get at least 2 hours to ourselves before we start winding down for the night. And that has been huge. And in the summer, it wasn't as great, but we also went to bed later. So we still were making sure that we were getting at least an hour and a half of us time before we went to sleep.
Yeah, I find the same thing. Like if our kids aren't in bed and we don't have that time together, that's where I start. That's where I feel like I get irritated. I get like, okay, things aren't like, because after the kids go to bed, then we, make lunches for the next day and I do my sourdough and I do there's just so many more things. And then by the time we actually sit down to hang out, we only have like an hour or not even before we go to bed. And it's like, So making sure your kids go to bed is definitely a good one. I think another maybe small habit is to make sure your bedroom stays nice and clean, right? Like if you have a clean bedroom, you kind of want to be there. It feels relaxing the moment you go into your room.
Yeah, versus frustrated that your bed's not made and there's clothes all over the floor.
Yeah. And you might not even notice it. I would raise my hand and say, Ken would just laugh if he hears me say, if he listens to this episode, he's going to go, man, Tira, you should listen to your own advice. The bedroom, I wish I could keep cleaner than I do. Our bedroom is the one space where nobody else sees. And so I feel like, oh, good, this is my safe space. I don't have to clean. I would like it clean. That is like, I keep it tidy. But it would be nice to have like, when you walk into a hotel room and everything is just like neat and there's nothing on the floor. There's nothing anywhere. It's just like, oh yes, this is meant for sleep and sex. Let's enjoy it. but yeah. So I guess I could say one of my wishes is that I feel like that would be a very good habit to have, and it would help with your sex life and sleep life.
See, I never realized until you just said that, but yeah, that's so true. Like Sam has been really good at making our bed in the last little while, and walking in to see like a nicely made bed and not stuff everywhere is so nice, because she's also not great at like, she'll change her outfit sometimes throughout the day and she'll just leave the old one on the bed, and I'll walk in and there'll be like 2 or 3 outfits on the bed. I'm like, can you just clean up your crap, please? Like, this is so annoying. Just clean it up. And so, yeah, that is irritating. So walking in to like see like a nice clean bed, like that is very peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something that I feel like you don't really notice. Like it's just kind of there
100%.
subconsciously. And
Well, they say like one of the easiest habits to start doing is to make your bed. And it's
Yeah.
like starting off on a good foot where you've already accomplished something before you get out of your bedroom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like Jeff has said, like, he's listened to different, like, I don't know if it's like podcasts or whatever, like of successful people. And that's like
Mhm.
one of the first
Yeah.
things they do is they make their
Yeah.
bed. All successful people.
Totally.
Okay.
So
I
make a
want to
small
become
change.
successful. Let's make,
Make
the
your
bed.
Okay. So I have some did you know questions here.
Okay.
I thought they were very interesting. So, and these were all kind of from different studies and such. So one pilot study found that women who experienced orgasm actually slept about 54% longer that night compared to nights without an orgasm.
That is a lot. And it was Fitbit data that they used on
Mm-hmm.
the one I'm looking at here.
Yeah. The AUA journal.
Yarborough.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're looking at the same one. That's crazy. So it's literally the night that you have orgasm compared to the previous night immediately before that night.
Wild.
54% increase in minutes slept among women with orgasm compared to women without orgasm.
Crazy.
Right?
That's bonkers.
And that would be the average? That, I mean, it was 17 women did, like,
Maybe.
I think so. Yeah, on average.
Interesting. Okay. Let's go on to the next one.
yeah.
Let's see if they're all this bonkers, hey? Women with poor sleep quality were 63% more likely to struggle reaching orgasm than those who slept well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's still a really high number, but that's
Yes.
Mhm.
like encouraging that improving your sleep can have a really dramatic effect.
Seriously.
Especially for those who struggle.
Yeah.
It seems like such a cycle. You sleep poorly, you don't have as good of an orgasm or have an inability to reach an orgasm.
Or
Don't sleep
wanna
as
have
well that
sex at
night
all.
or
Mhm.
that. And then you don't sleep as well because you didn't have an orgasm. And then goes in circles.
So if you're not
All right.
sleeping well, it's just lack of orgasms, guys. Just tell your spouse, hey, I need more orgasms because I need to sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see some real stats in that. Like,
Yeah, can someone
Women.
track it for the next month and then send us your
Oh,
data, please?
That's
Women
Jeff,
who
he was
don't-
like, Jeff was like, have you noticed that? Like, do you sleep better if you have an? I was like, I've never tracked that. I would have never known there was a correlation, but maybe that's something that we all need to start tracking.
jeez. Well, it's kind of hard because if I increase my sleep by 54%, I wouldn't be able to do life. Like,
Yeah,
Ken would have to
exactly.
take over. Getting the kids, going to school. Like,
Oh, man.
yeah.
Maybe it's more like, I wonder if it's like, that like deep sleep, the REM sleep.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what it's like. The longer amount of time you're sleeping is like deeper quality sleep.
Well, it said minutes slept, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, move on.
Okay. Research shows that fragmented or restless sleep is strongly tied to lower arousal, orgasm difficulty, and less sexual satisfaction in women. It seems very like women focused.
Yeah.
Obviously, sleep is important for women.
And
For
orgasm,
ladies.
too.
And orgasms. Ladies, get your
Which is
sleep,
good.
get your orgasm. People who reported more frequent orgasms and more emotional satisfaction in sex also fell asleep faster at night.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I've
Sounds on
noticed
par.
this one. I fall asleep pretty fast after sex. This
Mhm.
one makes sense.
In women over 50, sleeping less than 5 hours a night was linked with lower odds of sexual satisfaction and less partnered sexual activity. Which
Yep,
makes
makes
sense. I
sense.
feel like that would
Makes
be
sense.
everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're struggling with sleep and treating sleep as part of intimacy prep, it kind of reframes how you're thinking about it of sleep. Because maybe you're like, it's just sleep. It's whatever. Some people are like, they just know that they need less sleep and that's okay for them, right? Like I have friends who are like, oh, I just don't need that much sleep. But just think of how much better your sex life would be if you got more sleep. Maybe it'd be better.
Yeah.
So some things you could do, like practical tips to maybe prioritize rest, would be aligning your bedtimes, like you and your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
This can be a really tricky one. Like even I was saying before, like there was a season where I was so tired, or a season I worked in a bakery, and so I had to wake up at like to be there super early to start taking stuff out of the proofer to make buns or whatever. And so I went to bed super early that summer. And so Jeff and I never went to bed at the same time because I went to bed super, super early. So I get it. It can be really tricky if you do like shift work or like in my scenario there. But even like 2 to 3 nights a week can create more connection or even more opportunity for sex because you're going to bed at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
you
you're
guys
not
all go to bed. We all go to bed at the same time as our spouse, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost seems weird not to.
Yeah. Unless Jeff has like some kind of like sports that go late or whatever that he's
like an event or yeah, totally.
Yeah. This one was funny. Take a 20-minute nap in the afternoon to recharge for intimacy later.
Definitely done that.
And all the moms are like, yeah, I wish. Yeah, good joke.
Yeah. You make dinner, honey, and I'm going to go take a quick nap so we can have sex later.
Yeah. There you go.
That would be awesome. This is a good one. Trading screen time for a bedtime routine that includes connection, whether that's even just cuddles, conversation, prayer, hanging out, visiting.
Yep.
And try morning sex because hormones are higher, like naturally, right? Is it for men and women or just men?
Both.
Well, yeah, men for sure.
Yeah, men for sure. I feel like we talked about that before. And then it just starts your day off in a good spot.
Yep.
Yeah, especially if you have like a day of the week where you, like for us, it's Saturdays. Like we almost never have anything on Saturday mornings. Mm-hmm. And so the kids know when they wake up, like we're a pretty low screen time family, but they know Saturday morning they get to go watch show. Mm-hmm. So they get to go watch, and they also know to not come into mom and dad's room until mom and dad come out on Saturday morning. So they get to watch show as long as we stay in our room. And so like that is kind of our 1 day a week morning routine. Mm-hmm. And it works super well for us and the kids. And we all start off kind of on a good foot because we've all gotten something that we want. The kids get show, we get sleep, sometimes sex. And it's a good start to the weekend.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I wanted to close this off with something I've done in some episodes before, but just sort of like journal or reflection prompts. So if you're a journaler, maybe you can take a sec, look at the transcript if you want to, like in Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, or I can make a post for this if you want yet to then look back later on in your week. So I'll read them for now and you can jot them down if you want or go back and listen, whatever. Okay, how did my sleep patterns affect my intimacy with my spouse this past week? What habits are stealing my rest? Whether it's phones or late night chores, stress, etc. How can we build a rhythm of rest that creates more space for intimacy? And last one, if I viewed sleep not as lost time, but as an investment in our marriage, what would I change?
That's a good one. I often can see sleep as lost time. And that's a good challenging one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. The more sleep you get, the more sex you get. The more sex you have, the better sleep you'll have.
It's a win-win.
Positive feedback loop. Come on. Can't argue with that.
No. So try something. Make some kind of little change this week to prioritize sleep and see if it affects your sex life.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay. I'll close in prayer. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for designing our bodies the way you did and for creating rest, and that you love rest and encourage it. And so we ask that you would show us where we can make opportunity for more rest in our lives, and even just to slow down as a family and rest as a family and just take more pleasure in each other's company. And so would you just show couples where they can make these changes, and would you bless them as they do it? Amen.
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 Hey friends, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you like our content, please like, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, and tell your friends too. Thanks so much for journeying with us today as we tackled the hard questions and dive deep into godly intimacy. Make sure you follow us on Instagram to see more of our content, and check the show notes for any links we might have mentioned in today's episode. We're so grateful to be on this journey with you, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode.